come on in and welcome to my review of Married at First Sight, a season 16 episode. I don't know what is this, 102? I think it might be 22. It feels like 102, y'all. But I don't know what they call this episode, but I'm gonna call it Who Threw the Most Shade, because there was a whole lot of shade thrown at these exes. They was letting it all hang out. So we're gonna talk about it. And we're going to try to figure out who threw the most shade. We definitely going to have to start with our top contenders, which is going to be Hank and Gina. And we're going to get to Dom. We're going to get to Mac. We're going to get to Jasmine. We're going to get to Kirsten. We're going to leave Shaq alone because he's mourning the death of his grandmother. But we're going to talk a little bit about Eris as well. But we're going to run through them all. But first of all, we're going to start with Gina, because you know she's a top contender. You know Gina is competitive and she's a top contender, and she came in strong with her shade throwing. Why Gina come on here talking about one of the things she learned from this show was that she needed more work balance. She needed to have more playtime, not just work time. That's what she learned about this. I thought she was already fun and adventurous. Why she need to learn that? Okay, Gina, but she needs more work balance. But then she tells us she's going on a work trip to Sedona with coworkers. Oh, goodness, Gina. Goodness. She says she needs more work balance, but she goes to Sedona in Canada on a work trip with coworkers. Girl, that ain't a vacation. And she leave Hank with her mama to babysit her son. She was like, I don't want to give him to Clint. I don't want to give him to Clint. But I look like Clint eventually wrangles him away from her. When I was saying last week, who would want to go out with Gina? Who would really want to go out with Gina? And then next thing you know, we see Lion Mac. This is that kind of man Gina needs, a lion man. I told y'all from the very beginning Mac was a liar. I told you he was a liar from the very, very beginning. And that was one thing that Dom got right. He was a liar from the beginning. And I thought he was back here in LA, but come to find out, nah, he's back in Michigan. His grandmama must have given him that $50,000 and set him up with a job out there, an offer he couldn't refuse. He said it was an offer he couldn't refuse. But now we see who Gina likes. She likes lion men. She likes men who are going to tell her whatever she wants to hear, tell her how beautiful she is, tell her that you are the woman I like when I first saw you. Lion man. Now we know what Gina likes. Lion man, and here comes a Lion Mac. Still lying, talking about he took a consulting job. Gina was all excited until she found out he already moved or was moving to Michigan. Then she's like, oh, that's okay. I can do long distance. I know you can, because you don't really want no man. You don't want a man nor a dog, really, to be honest with you. She don't want to have to give no attention to no man. A long distance relationship is best for Gina. Then what she can do is they can just talk on the phone, and he can just send her sweet messages and tell her how cute she is. She can send him some sexy pictures, and he can say how hot you are. That ain't even no real relationship, but that's what Gina's looking for. That's exactly what Gina's looking for. She's just looking for somebody to pump her up, and you can do that long distance. Then Lion Mac gets her all excited about maybe they can date. Then he drops the bomb on her that he's moving to Michigan. And she's like, well, that's okay. I can do long distance relationship. And did you see that look on Mac's face? He was like, wait a minute. I didn't say I want a relationship with you. I just wanted to gas you up and maybe sleep with you. That was about it. Next thing you know, he's over here talking about, oh, I'm not ready for nothing serious. Oh, Lion Mac, a Lion Mac. He said, I wasn't looking for nothing serious. And Gina over here acting like that man asked him to marry her. Would you marry me? Will you be my woman? That's not what he was talking about, Gina. I tell you, Gina loves a lion man. That's what she likes. She gonna like a man that says whatever she wants him to say. Some of the shade thrown came from Clint, because Clint said, yeah, maybe, because Clint said maybe Mac is good for Gina because he just melts into the couch. There was some shade. There was some shade right there. Mac threw some shade at Dom, talking about she was not a good person. And he told Gina, to be honest with you, I liked you more. I thought you looked better than Dom from the very beginning. I really didn't think she was all that attractive. Shade, you better duck. You better duck, because the shade was getting thrown this episode. But Mac was on the after party. He said, some of those things he said was immature, and he was just hurt and sour. That's just who Mac is. You're naturally hurt, you're naturally sour, and you're naturally a shade thrower. He always try to act like it's just an anomaly. He's not really like this. This is who Mac is. Mac has always been a liar. I told you that from the very beginning. Didn't mean I like Dom anymore, but Mac is definitely a liar. Has always been one. Mac over here talking about all these jobs he's had, talking about all these businesses he's run. He's an entrepreneur. He's been a contractor. He ran a landscaping business. Then he got into the weed. Now he's moving back to Michigan for this big opportunity. Last week we saw him shopping for a house, but then next thing you know, this episode, he talking about how he just signed a lease. Well, why would you sign a loan lease if you were shopping for a house in Tennessee and now all of a sudden you back in Michigan? There's so many lies being thrown around here by Mac. You don't even know which one's first. He throwing lies and shade. Everybody better duck. Even Clint's little date he went on, that woman got in some shade too, because she was like, when he asked her, what are your deal killers? She said, I don't like men with red head. Are you kidding me? Not again. Well, at least she didn't call him a ginger. But Clint got in some digs. He was like, you know what? At least she's slim, slender, and in good condition and toned. Woo! That was some shade right there, y'all. Y'all better duck on that one. He said at least she was slim, thick. No, what she said? At least he was slim. At least she was fit. At least he was fit, toned, and in shape. That was some shade right there being thrown at Gina. We know that for sure. Clint said he's trying to learn. He's trying to learn not to just be in the physical anymore, but he said he already had some sex. And they asked him, well, would you got a new girlfriend? He goes, no, ain't no new girlfriend. It's just sex. Clint said he going back to his old ways with a few changes. He said, I still want to get married, but I'm not leaving these streets completely. He even said, you know what? He realized he and Gina weren't a good match because Gina's used to the spotlight. And he said he sort of took that over. We said that from the very beginning. At least I was saying it, that Gina was jealous of Clint. That's really what it was about. Gina wants the spotlight, and Clint just took it all up when they was together. Gina don't want that. Gina wants to be the one sitting there, everybody talking about how funny she is, how fit she is, how beautiful she is. I tell you, Gina, why don't she just get a Build-A-Bear and program that bear to tell her what she needs? She don't really need no husband. Dom came on the show telling y'all, I told y'all I was a liar. I told y'all it doesn't surprise me that Mac is moving back to Michigan. She was right about that. I said that before. Said that before about Mac too. Eris too. I'll be surprised if Eris stays too long over there in Tennessee. Mac was on the after party as well, talking about he regrets dating why he didn't have his own place. That's why he went out and signed a lease somewhere else. And Eris has sat over there quiet because he don't want to tell everybody he's living with friends too. He a 40-year-old man living with a friend. Then we got delusional Dom coming back. I don't know who Dom thinks would like her. She over here trying to shoot her shot with Gil from season, I don't know, whoever the season with Merla. And she thinks Gil's going to be interested in her. Girl, you not Gil's type. Have you seen Gil's Instagram? You better scroll through his Instagram. Just because you like him don't mean he's going to like you. Listen, ladies, just because you like him don't mean he's going to like you, and vice versa. Dom, you are not Gil's type. I don't even know why she's shooting her shot with him. And then why are you trying to date a man that's out of state anyway, Dom? You just said you didn't want Mac and he was moving out of state, but all of a sudden you're going to run up behind Gil, and Gil's over here living in Houston, but you in Tennessee. That's out of state too. You looking crazy too talking about this stuff. As much as I call Mac a liar, I'm telling you, Dom ain't really got no good attitude either. No good attitude at all. And then she's over here talking about she want to run up behind Gil, but then the next episode we see her kissing on Clint. Girl, you not ready. You not ready at all. Then we're going to move on to Chris and Nicole. Chris and Nicole, they weren't throwing no shade at nobody, but I'm going to throw some shade at them. First of all, I'm going to throw some shade at Nicole, talking about she going into this store, talking about she won $8,000 couches and $2,000 chairs, talking about if I want it, I buy it. So what if it's 3 months rent or 3 months salary, whatever else? First of all, if I had a $19,000 chair in my house, and Nicole came in there and flopped down on my chair like she did that chair in that store with her feet all up on a $1,900 chair, I kick her out of my house. I told you, she barely invited in my house. I wouldn't even invite her in my house, but let her come in my house and sit on a $1,900 chair I bought with her feet up all on and with her shoes on. Girl, get out of here. And then talking about she going to buy an $8,000 couch and she got 3 dogs that jump all over furniture. Girl, get out of here. I'm throwing shade. She might not have been throwing no shade, but I'm going to throw some. And she loves trying to make her husband look bad. Let's go work out. Let me show you what I got. Let me beat you. I want to get validation. And in order for me to get validation, I don't mind if you get put down in the process. This girl is a mess. I don't know how I thought that this girl was a giver in the very beginning. This girl likes all the validation. She wants everything her way. She is a mess. So here she is. Let me outwork my husband once again. I want to be the winner in everything because I want the validation. And to hell with you people, how it makes you feel. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to act the way I want. All because it makes me feel good is what I want. And if y'all don't like it, too bad. Too bad. That's how Nicole operates. But on the after party, Eris was on the after party. He says he hangs out with Nicole and Chris 2 times a week, and that's who his couple goals are. He says, I admire them. That's the relationship I want to have. He's probably saying he admires Nicole. I know he don't admire Chris because Chris is over here the one doing all the giving. He admires Nicole, the one that does whatever the hell she wants, because that's what Eris wants to do. He wants to be in a relationship when he does whatever he wants to do. So he don't admire the relationship. He admires Nicole. Then we got Kirsten over here talking about she needs closure with Shaq. She ain't figured out. She wanted to have closure with Shaq. We're talking about closure. You ain't opened up yet. Then you just get divorced because the man told you never opened up. Now all of a sudden you need closure. I tell you, she ain't never satisfied. Now guess what, people? The closure wasn't enough. I told you she's never satisfied. She needs more closure. The closure wasn't enough. A whole 8 weeks, all these 26 episodes, all these conversations she's done had. She says it's not enough. I need a do-over in the breakup. I need closure. It ain't never going to be enough. Never. She's already laying down the law about what she's not going to take in the next relationship. She said, I'm not going to be going out with no man when all he wants to do is Netflix and chill. Here she goes. Here she goes with what she ain't going to do. What she not going to do. Who she not going to like. She's starting with her list already. Jasmine was trying to tell her, girl, you can't find no husband if you ain't dating. You better get out here in these streets and start dating like I am. I'm going to get to Jasmine and that mystery man. But she was trying to tell Kirsten. Kirsten said, no, I got to set up my parameters. I got to set up all my don'ts, what I'm not going to take before I go out with a man. Like I said, she got a whole list of criteria, what she needs for somebody else to do before she does anything. Picky, picky, picky. She said, no, right now I'm just going to focus on myself. Self-love, focus on myself. I thought that's what she was doing in the relationship. I thought you need to learn how to focus on somebody else, care and concern about somebody else so they also feel loved and not alone, like Shaq said. Not alone, but now you're going to start working on yourself and focusing on yourself some more. She went to a whole career coach. Who did she go? She went to this woman who's supposed to help her with her career counseling. And the lady said, well, how's your love life and your work life? She says, my work life is a 10. Well, if your work life is a 10, you need to be with a dating coach. Well, if your work life's a 10 and your love life is a 0, you need to be over here with a dating coach, not with no career coach. How you go to a career coach and you just said your career is a 10, but your dating life is in a toilet? You need a dating coach, Kirsten. You need some help. Jasmine tried to tell her, listen, our clocks are ticking. We ain't got all day. We better get back out here and start meeting some new men. She tried to tell Kirsten, but Kirsten don't want to hear. Kirsten don't want to listen. She too busy getting her list together, what she not going to put up with. She ain't out there trying to really meet and greet no men. She's too busy trying to get her list together, her self-care, her self-focus, what she wants. She's busy in the room, that empty apartment, writing down what she ain't going to put up with. Then she telling Jasmine need to go buy a house. Jasmine, she just want a commission check. She over here trying to get Jasmine to buy a house and not rent an apartment because she want a commission check. Jasmine, don't listen to her. You on the right track. Buy a house with your husband. And here Kirsten over here talking about she going to buy a house in a year. How are you going to buy a house in a year? You just said 4 weeks ago that you want this man to buy you a $2.9 million house. Now all of a sudden you're going to buy a house all by yourself. So you wasn't willing to put anything into the house when you was married, but now you're willing to buy the whole house yourself. This girl, unbelievable. She talking about I'm in self-care. I'm going to brunch. I'm going to buy me some flowers. I'm going to do all the things for myself that Shaq never did for me. This ain't how it works, Kirsten. This ain't how it works. If you can't please me, Shaq, and give me what I want, I guess I give it to myself. No, the idea is to allow a man to dote on you and give you things. But that means you got to be willing to do it for them too. Kirsten got a one-way street, a gifts coming to her, attention coming to her, love coming to her, everything coming to her. She on a one-way street. Bring it this way because I ain't pushing nothing out this way. She said she want to get into fixing and flipping home. She ain't going to be no good at it because to be able to flip a house, you know what you got to do? You got to take lemonades. You got to be able to take lemon and make lemonades out of it. You got to take dud houses, rundown houses, build them up and make them beautiful. She ain't ready to do that because Kristen she don't even want to build up no man. How the hell she going to build up a house? She don't even want to invest in a man and make a man better. Iron strengthening the iron. She don't even want to do that. But she thinks she's going to take a rundown house and make it a gym. Absolutely not. Because she ain't got no eye for it. She don't see potential. And to be a house flipper, you got to see potential. And if you can't see potential in a man, you definitely can't see potential in no house. Then Kirsten got in some shade throwing. She said, I don't know what Shaq's doing. I still wonder what he's doing. Is he dating? He better not be dating because if he didn't have time for me, he better not have time for no other woman. Shaq gonna have time for a woman that got time for him. He absolutely will, Kirsten. He gonna have time for a woman that's given to him. Kirsten got it all wrong. Sometimes you don't see. Sometimes you don't bring stuff out in a person because of who you are. Just like Eris was over here talking about. I think this time watching watching the clip backs. He was on the after party watching the clip backs of Jasmine going out on this date. He says, "Oh, I feel like I saw a different version of Jasmine." You did. I told y'all Jasmine wasn't no quiet as a mouse woman. She got a mouth on her because she was up here actually giving some good advice to Kirsten in the way she speaks with confidence. She ain't as mild and meek as she. As it came off on this show. And Eris is exactly right. He got a different version of Jasmine because when he started with them put downs and really knocking her along with that Thalina. It really started happening with that Thalina the day after the wedding when Thalina started ripping into Jasmine, talking about she's fake and phony. That's when you start seeing Jasmine go into her little tortoise shell. Because when she was sitting there at that brunch with Thalina and Thalina was talking about, you seem like you got pageant answers, Jasmine was quiet as a mouth, but Jasmine got a mouth on her. She know how to speak up when she needs to speak up. And Eris now trying to realize, talking about, you know what? I didn't realize that part of her. I'm glad to see she's bringing it out and she can share it with somebody else. Boy, get out of here, Eris. I still don't like him. He another one talking about he already done had sex with somebody, some little booty call, a text, talking about the text landing. He just sent a text to a woman and ordered her up like Grubhub or Uber Eats. Please. Then he over here talking about, I hope I do get to see a Duchess a little bit more often and take her out on play dates. And Jasmine made it real clear to everybody else, that's a one-time thing. That won't be happening no more. That's right, Jasmine. Cut them off. Cut them off. As soon as this taping is over, episode 132, whatever it is, when you get your final check, you right. Tell him, block him and from text and phone, talking about, can I hang out with Duchess? No, Duchess don't want to hang out with you. Duchess don't even like you. She was rolling her eyes at you last episode. She don't like you. The only reason she come on these play dates is maybe to hang out with Hank. That's it, not you. But Jasmine was out here on this little date with this mystery man. Mystery man, she threw a little shade too. That mystery man was peppering her with a whole lot of questions. I don't know, that mystery man's voice sounded like it was kind of altered, y'all, like it was computer generated. Is it some kind of AI, chat GBT voiceover? Because it didn't seem like it matched the person that was sitting there. I know Jasmine said, I want to keep him quiet. I want to keep it under wraps until it's serious. I don't want to just be out here showing you anybody and everybody. I'm okay with that, Jasmine. I get what you're trying to do. I don't know. I did want to see his face, though. I wanted to see who he is. I wanted to look in his eyes. I wanted to see if there was any sincerity to him or whatsoever. I really did. But Jasmine threw her shade at Eris, talking about he's already over here calling the hey big head call saying, what's up? I'm divorced now. Can we hook up again? Jasmine got in her shade, and she got in her shade, which talking about, I want a man. Are you attracted to me? Because I want a man that's attracted to me. I want a man who's going to give me some attention. I want a man who's going to love on me. She was like, let me tell you all the things I don't want. It was what I just had. I don't want it again. I do like the idea of Jasmine moving out of her parents' house and getting her own apartment. I do agree with that. I do agree maybe it's time for her to move out, start separating herself from her parents. Start moving into this life of being, find her a man, get a husband, because she ready. And I do agree with her again. Don't buy no house, buy a house with your husband. Buy a house with your husband because you don't know where your husband's going to need to live for his job. It may be in Tennessee. It may be in a city in Tennessee. It may be in another state. Do not buy no house. Just like I did that money and finance thing with houses. If you're not planning to stay nowhere for 5 years, don't buy no house. It's a waste of money. Don't buy a house if you're not planning on staying there for 5 years. And if you're trying to get married, there's no reason why you should be buying a house because your spouse may not like that house. You may not want to live in that house. You may not want to live in that city. Keep your options open. And when you buy a house, you are tying yourself down. When you're trying to get married and meet a person, do not buy a house. Rent. But this man she went out on, she said he was an old college sweetheart. That's what she said in this episode. It sounded like a man that was interested in Jasmine in college, but Jasmine blew him off. It sounded like a man that liked Jasmine back in college, but back then Jasmine maybe had a different set of criteria for men, and he didn't meet the criteria, and he got blown off. And now she's circling on back over to him, talking about, yeah, I'm single now, and I've learned a few things, and I wasn't looking at the right qualities in a man, but now that I look at some of the right qualities, you might actually fit the bill. A lot of people need to circle back to some of these exes. Because once you learn something about yourself, you realize maybe that other person wasn't all the problem in the past relationship. Sometimes they are, but sometimes it was you too. But why she keep calling him a friend boy? What's a friend boy? I heard of an F boy, but I ain't heard of no friend boy. Maybe that's what it means. Maybe if friend boy is not an F boy, it's the opposite of an F boy, because you're not doing the do with them, but they're your friend, but you want to make them your man. Maybe that's what a friend boy is. I don't know. I never heard the term, to be honest with you. Is this a Tennessee thing? This man was asking her some questions. That's why I think maybe he liked her before and Jasmine didn't like him, because he's like, why are you interested in me now? He's like, you wasn't interested in me before, but now all of a sudden you all up on me. What you want from me? He said, what brings out your interest in me? What about me that makes you interested? Because I'm confused. This man was sitting there kind of like confused. Like, all of a sudden, why is Jasmine calling me? I shot my shot with her years ago. She turned me flat down. But she calling me up now? Why? He's curious and he's a little bit suspicious. He said, how many dates you already been on? What number was I? What number was I on your call list? Was I number 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? And she said, no, you're the only one I'm interested in. He was like, oh, really? I didn't been bumped up to number 1. He was starting to get a little excited about it. He grabbed her hand and everything, talking about, come on over here and give me a kiss. I'm number 1 now? Shoot, I used to be number 10. I done moved up on the roster. Jasmine said, I got a taste of marriage and I like the way it tasted, but I want a little bit more sweetness to it. But I know I got to get out here and date. I'm not going to be sitting in the house licking my wounds like Kirsten. Talking about she's still trying to process it. Jasmine, like, I processed it already. I done processed it on week 4. We on week 8. I'm done processing. I'm ready to get back out here and find my husband, or have my husband find me, one of the two. She's like, are you attracted to me? He says, I'm offended. Of course I'm attracted to you. Girl, I was attracted to you back in college. You was the one that shot me down. That's what he really wanted to say. He said, you know you fine, girl. You know you gorgeous. Come on now. Why are you trying to act brand new with me? We ain't new to each other. We are not new to each other. But he says, I see my advantage. I see an opening. I see an advantage. I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity right now. And I'm going to slide up in here, because it sounds like a Jasmine ain't single too often, too long. Because she was in some 4-year relationships, 4 long relationships. So I don't think Jasmine stays single too long. And this man must know it. He must know that Jasmine don't stay out on the market too long. He said, I see my advantage. I'm going to take advantage of it. I hope he's sincere. I really do hope he's sincere. But you know what? I didn't get to look at his face. I didn't get to look in his eyes. That's what I need to be able to do. But it sounds like he's going to really shoot his shot. Good luck to you, Jasmine. Good luck to you. I hope it works out. If it don't work out with him, girl, stay on your grind. Stay on your path. You on a good path. Stay out there and meet men. Make yourself available. I like the idea of getting your an apartment. I don't like the idea of you buying a house. Don't do that. Don't listen to Kirsten. Don't listen to nothing Kirsten says. She got some bad advice. She over here with a career coach and she need a dating coach. Don't get no dating advice from Kirsten whatsoever. Everything she says do, or do the opposite. Anyway, that's it, y'all. That's it for this week. We'll see what happens next week. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.